Hello, Hellstream. Hope you're doing well. Look what I got. Bing! The new Medical Medium Cleanse to Heal book. Very excited. This is a big one. I feel like this is physically the largest of all of them so far. And I think this is really, I haven't read it, full disclosure, and I have quite a number of books to read for my Yoga 300 course, so probably won't read this in its entirety, but I wanted to go over the different parts with you so you can judge for yourself whether or not this is something that you would like to purchase. And to me, in a quick overview, it looks like this is a book similar to the first book, the Medical Medium's first book, that is just geared toward everyone and anyone who has or does not have a condition. There are a number of cleanses that are appropriate for everyone and anyone. So the title of the book is officially Cleanse to Heal, Healing Plans for Sufferers of Anxiety, Depression, Acne, Eczema, Lyme, Gut Problems, Brain Fog, Weight Issues, who doesn't have that? Migraines, bloating, vertigo, psoriasis, cysts, fatigue, PCOS, fibroids, UTI, endometriosis, and autoimmune. So basically everyone. He has some nice quotes here in the beginning. He says, long after we're gone, this information will still be here for those who come next. In that sense, it is timeless. This planet will continue to present challenges, often in the form of pathogens and other toxic troublemakers, to the people living in it. The human body will continue to hold the capacity for healing if the coming generations know how to tap into its cleansing rhythms. And that is so appropriate given that we are now in the beginning, at least I am, of our 8th week of quarantine from the coronavirus. There was another quote I wanted to share. There's a foreword by Ilana Zablosky-Amir, a doctor. I don't know what she wrote, but I'm sure it's very positive. Here we go. Here's the next quote I wanted to share with you. Chronic illness is growing at an alarming rate. Even with the massive amounts of organic food being cultivated now, even with the awareness about removing processed foods from our diet, even with the newest healing modalities, sickness is present like never before. No one is escaping illness, not unless they have the right information to stop the ticking clock. This is not a lifestyle book, it's a lifetime book. In a sea of false truths, this is about saving lives. I'm telling you, check it out. You know, we're also living longer than ever before, although at least for, I think, white males in the U.S., the average age has declined somewhat over the last 20 years. But in general, we're aging longer, although the quality of that life may not be what it should be. And I don't mind aging if I feel good. I don't want to be older and debilitated or, I just want to enjoy my life to the fullest, as full as I possibly can. So I want to share that that's why I follow these books, and I want to share that with you as well. So part 1, we need to cleanse. And in part 1, he talks about why we need to cleanse, what causes burnout, juices versus fiber, intermittent fasting. I'm interested to see what he says about that because I do practice that. And your guide to choosing a cleanse. So that's part 1, chapters 1 through 8. So you can decide what cleanse is right for you based on how you feel and what stage in your life you're at. Part 2, which we discussed somewhat in the Liver Rescue book. Part 2 is the 369 cleanse, Life Protector. And, I discussed doing the first 6 out of 9 days on that cleanse already and possibly doing that again. I had talked about it with my partner that we may want to try it and see how it goes at least 3 days at a time. And we're still talking about doing that. But fortunately, when I went through this book, I said, oh, wait, it's not just the 369. He talks about how it works. Then he discusses the original 369, which was from the Liver Rescue book, which I'll put a link to that video whichever corner. I always try to remember and I forget, so sorry. Then, after he talks about the original, he goes to the simplified. So that is, and I reviewed it, I just looked at it, and it's something I can show you quick and go through that now, what that looks like. But it is a much more flexible, it's page 130, a much more flexible version. And I do believe that it's something that you could do if you were working full time. It seems to be very flexible. Most of the first 8 of the 9 days are really mostly preparing you for the juicing day, which I do a juice fast. I was doing it once every 2 weeks. Now we're doing it about once a month. During this quarantine phase, I haven't been doing my fasts for as long. I've been doing a 16-hour fast every day. And then also we haven't been doing juice fasts and fasting as much for whole days because, to be honest, eating is part of one of our activities of the day to do. My partner enjoys cooking, and it's kind of a main focus that breaks up our day. So we haven't been as strict, which of course, along with less exercise, is making us a little soft, but that's okay. We're being kind to ourselves and doing what we need to do to get through this time. And that's important because focusing on stress reduction is always the most important thing that you can do for your health. So that's what we're doing. And I hope you're doing that too. So the simplified cleanse, 3-day segments. The first 3 days starts with lemon or lime water, and then you wait a little while and drink some celery juice. Wait a little while and then have a breakfast of your choice within the guidelines. I'll discuss the guidelines next. Then lunchtime, meal of your choice. Mid-afternoon, you could have some apple and some dates and some cucumber or celery. Then dinner time, meal of your choice within guidelines. And then in the evening, another apple, some lemon or lime water, and then some tea, hibiscus lemon balm or changa, which is new to me, chaga. This is different than the original, in that the original had more apples. So you were eating a lot of apples. I think it was what we needed 24 for the first 3 days, so 12 each. So it was 4 apples a day. This is 2 or 3. And the apples help to clear out your system, because then when you detox, you need to make sure that whatever you're detoxing has an open pathway to get out of your body. So the apples help to do that, as well as the dates. So the eating guidelines that I mentioned, you can eat regular meals within these guidelines. Avoid radical fats, including nuts, seeds, oil, olive, coconut, avocado, cacao, bone broth, animal protein. So that is probably not your regular meal, right? Because it does say breakfast of your choice within guidelines. So I don't know anyone who doesn't eat any of those things in a normal day. But bottom line is, do the best you can. Do as close as you can. It's still better than what you're doing, right? Avoid these foods: eggs, dairy, gluten, soft drinks, salt, seasoning, pork, corn, oil, soy, lamb, tuna, all other fish and seafood, vinegar, caffeine, grains, alcohol, natural and artificial sweeteners, fermented food, nutritional yeast, citric acid, MSG, aspartame, artificial sweeteners, formaldehyde, preservatives. Stick to fruits, vegetables, leafy greens. There are recipes, and he also offers substitutions in following chapters of the book. So this cleanse is a more simplified version of the original, but it's still doable within your normal life. The next 3 days are somewhat similar. However, instead of a meal of your choice for breakfast, he asks you to stick to mainly just fruit. So you're basically eating what you would normally eat in a day for the first 3 days. You're just adding some celery juice and some lemon water and some apples. It's not a big deal. The next 3 days, you're doing the same thing, except you're not eating a breakfast, or your breakfast is only fruits or vegetables. And that's also not terrible, right? You're just going to add in apples and dates and these juices. And again, the food guidelines that he offers. Then the final 3 days, the first 2 days, the 7th and the 8th day, you're drinking more celery juice. You're also having a fruit-based breakfast. And then with dinner, he's saying the only real difference between day 7 and 8 and day 5 through 6 is that for dinner, you're incorporating steamed asparagus or Brussels sprouts. So other than that, and more celery juice than the previous 3 days, other than that, day 4 through 8 is pretty much the same. Then day 9 is your juice day. And it's not only juice, there's some fruit smoothie or blended fruit. So that gives you some fiber. It's not just juice. You're not going to be, if you're not used to fasting or juicing, you're not going to be hungry because you'll have fiber in your stomach. You'll have carbohydrates and sugar, and you'll have things that keep you satiated. So that's day 9. The only challenge that I see for us is one, in that it's 9 days. Food shopping for all of this during this time. Previous to this, I would have just ordered everything on Amazon Prime Now, and they would have just delivered it. But we have to go to the supermarket and get things. So that's a challenge, as well as, every once or twice a week, we like to have our wine and have a nice little date night. And this, can't do that with this. So we have to balance. It is important to cleanse, and that's important for our health, but it's also balancing our mental health. And I'm not saying you should drink for mental health, but what I am saying is to get through this prolonged period of quarantine, we do have some nights where we just kind of blow off steam, joke around, watch a movie, have some fun, chat with friends on Zoom. So we'll see how it goes. We're not going to stress. We're not going to force ourselves to do anything or get down on ourselves if we don't. We'll see how it goes. But we will follow the simplified formula. So I'm glad I looked through the book before we went out and bought 24 apples for 3 days. So that's the 369. I don't know. I think we covered most of it, but I highly recommend. I just recommend buying this book and reading through it. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Next, in part 2, there's an advanced 369. Oh, and if we do the 369 or any part of it, I'll do a video every day to just let you know how it's going. And I don't want to jinx myself, but I don't see us doing the full 9 right now. But who knows? Maybe we will. There's an advanced 369. I can guarantee you I won't be showing you that anytime soon. And then he talks about repeating the 369 and then transitioning out of it. So good advice. Part 3, then, of the book talks about other cleanses. So you can decide what's the right cleanse for you. There's an anti-bug cleanse, which is particularly probably important now because it deals with viruses and other pathogens. A morning cleanse, which I'm excited about because maybe that's just, I drink celery juice every morning. So I'm already doing somewhat of a morning cleanse every day. And maybe that's part of what this is. I drink lemon water too. So these things are important and easy to incorporate in your normal daily life. Heavy metal detox cleanse. And we talked about the metal detox smoothie, which I'll put here, and that is from the Thyroid Healing book. Mono eating cleanse, and so that's part 3. The Next part is part 4, the Insider Cleanse Guide. Crucial cleanse do's and don'ts, your body's healing power, adaptations and substitutions. So for the 369, if you don't like dates, what else can you eat? If you don't like apples or celery, what can you do? And then chapter 22 is 369 simple sample menus. And then chapter 23 is cleanse recipes. But that chapter is about 150 pages long. So a good chunk of the book, which is probably why I've never seen so many recipes. A good chunk of the book. Oh, there's the heavy metal detox smoothie. Oh, wait, no, sorry, liver rescue smoothie. But if you can see this darker section, see it when I turn the book a little bit that way, is all recipes, which is great. Go back to the contents. So that's part 4. And then part 5, he talks about the spiritual side of your health. Spiritual and soul healing support, living words from underdogs, and a note for the critics. You know, I don't really feel like he should even address critics because, I mean, if you don't believe in it and you don't want to do it, don't do it. Okay. I don't know what to tell you. I do it. It's changed my life. The emotional side of cleansing, empowered souls. Part 6, knowing the cause and the protocol. So this is good. I looked at this chapter, and it's a little bit of a step up. I know in the liver rescue book, we talked about how he discusses, and in the healing foods book, discusses different foods and what they're helpful for, and then also supplements. And if you have this condition, here's 20 to 30 supplements you could use to fix or help with that symptom. And in this book, supplements, what you need to know, medical medium shock therapies. So when the coronavirus outbreak started, he came out and he published 2 shock therapies. I'll put the vitamin C one there. And then also there's a zinc one. I'll put that there. So just to really kickstart your immune system when you feel like you're starting to get sick, or you're feeling that achy feeling, or you want to prevent something. Maybe you're going on a plane and you want to protect yourself. So you maybe do a shock therapy. But then finally, the final chapter is the true cause of your symptoms and conditions with dosages to heal. So that's new. He didn't previously offer dosages. So, for example, look how funny is this. I have a thyroid condition. I open right to thyroid conditions. This book is so heavy. Right here, thyroid conditions. And then this is true cause. So you read a little bit about the true cause, and then supplements for, these are all different thyroid conditions. Supplements for hypothyroidism, Hashimotos, goiters, thyroid nodules, cysts, and tumors. And then fresh celery juice, celery force, barley grass juice powder. And then also, so how much would you take of that if you wanted to? 2 teaspoons or 6 capsules daily. Right? Maybe you can take one of them for a month and then try another one for the next month and another one. You'll see how your body feels, or how you think you're what you need. Mostly you need to listen to your body, because it's the only thing that knows what it needs. You can go to a doctor, but they still don't know as well as your body what you need. And then supplements for hyperthyroidism and Graves' disease. Interesting. Almond berry, 2 teaspoons daily. So, and then he goes through, I mean, look at all the ailments there that he goes through. They're not in the contents, but there's, let's see. $483. Oh, that's the shock therapy. Page 485. Ew, worms and parasites. Weight gain. Should just do that. 485 to 551. So what is that? 66 pages of symptoms and treatments. And then the index, the beautiful index, which I think is the most important of section of any of his books. This is a wealth of knowledge. I'm very excited to read this book. I'm very excited this book is out there. And I'm excited for all of you, because if you are trying to wade through all this information and you have questions, I think that this is the book that most clearly is going to help you with that. I think that his knowledge and offerings have evolved from his first book, which was very strict and rigid. And if you want to fix yourself, here's this 28-day really vegetable and fruit juice fast that you can do. And it's just not, if you're critically ill and you have nowhere else to go, yeah, maybe you'll do that. But most people aren't going to do that. So advice is only good if people are going to use it. And I think that as he's put these books out, he's come out with advice that more and more people can put to use in their daily lives. Oh, and so the other thing that he mentioned, the simplified 369. He said it's 70% as effective as the original 369. The point is, if you're not going to do the 369 original, then this is 70 more. You could see it as 30% less effective, or you can see it as 70% more effective than doing nothing. And I think that's the goal, is to get you or to get whoever to do something toward your health and healing. So I'll take that. I'll take 70%. I would rather do it more often and be able to do it enjoyably than to, personally, to me at least anyway, than to either do something and fail or do something very strict and be miserable. So, or to be stressed out by it or something like that. So that's the new Cleanse to Heal book by the Medical Medium. I'm excited for it, and I hope you are too. If you have any questions, please let me know. Go in good health. Peace.